How you doing? This might be a strange video. Goodness sakes. We've been very busy canning and hauling hay, taking care of life. This is the first day all week I've been out here. Thank God I'm out here. I'll tell you, quite honestly, we've got a lot on the go. I was a little worried about this. Been blocking up a little firewood. Nothing worth making a video. Just I had some tops, small tops, just limb wood, and it was kind of fun, but it's work. But here's the deal: we're through the pickles. My cucumber patch gave up the ghost, and I thought Tuesday when I knew that we were done there. I think it was Monday actually. Maybe it was Tuesday. I said, well, we got a mess of pickles, I can tell you that. We made some kosher dills and some bread and butter. Made relish, pickle relish too, sweet pickle relish, my way. At some point, with all the things that we do just in our life, Barb started copying down some of the recipes that I use and that she does too, and I think we're going to put that in book form. That's what I think, and we'll pass them out amongst people that are interested in what we do, trying our recipes. I tell you what, we got some really great pickle ones, but another thing is spaghetti sauce. We've been canning all week. We've been, other than a trip to town to get more supplies, I had to get horse feed up there and milk, bread, the normal things. It was just one of them things that you just you roll out. When you got tomatoes coming in, you got to know just about the same exact day that the cucumbers are done. The greenhouse is just loaded. That might have been a mistake, growing tomatoes in a greenhouse. We got them coming out our ears. But boy, are they good. You know what's nice? They vine ripe. And the way I know is when I pull one off, it just comes right off in your hand. It just crazy good. Spaghetti sauce is to die for. Nice and thick and rich. We found a good way to do spaghetti sauce without having to do all kinds of crazy frickin' cook time. We reduced that greatly. Maybe we ought to share that with you guys. As a byproduct, we're also making tomato juice. We just finished up a batch today. We don't call it V8. We don't put all our crap in V8 does. So we call it a V6. Barb wrote the recipe down. I really like it. Actually, to tell you the truth, I think it's better than V8. And it's just a V6. The difference was we had a little black pepper in. Some carrots, celery, a little bit of this and that. And made an awesome tomato drink. I like V8. It's good for you. It really is. We got Jeep parts coming in. What this video is about is our test saw. I want to finish this cylinder. And I've been trying for days and days to get out here to do that, because we got Kyle Davidson's saw that we got it apart. We got a piston for it, an OEM, and we want to get right back together and get it to you, Kyle. Same thing with that Blue Thunder. We need to run that. I didn't want to run that lemon. Nah, not a good idea. We've been running around the house a little bit. So far, so good. Knock on wood. I better find some wood. B-Ray Farms, that Archer chain, I had to sharpen it twice. It takes sharpening fantastic. It's not too soft. It's not too hard. I want you to know I like that chain. I just found my new go-to chain. I like it. I'm gonna call it as good as Oregon. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Only thing I haven't done is chisel filed it. I'm going to do that once. We got some more cutting to do, felling timber, and I'm going to go ahead and chisel file it and see how it takes to chisel filing. It's not all chain. If a chain's too soft or too hard, a soft chain, they dulls fast. Because chisel filing it dulls faster. But if you're in clean wood, you're good to go. You can't have any grit at all. But felling timber, that's the way it is. Interestingly enough, you know our Jeep project? I'm not sure how much time I got on that. I want you to know that. As you know, our license bureaus are closed. They got a drop box. So we got to do all our paperwork and put it in the drop box, which great. And I haven't done that yet at the license bureau. When you go there, there's a sheriff at the door saying do not enter. But he'll hand you the forms and stuff. Real nice guy. I mean, salt of the earth. Guy's got a job to do just like the rest of us. And if that's what it takes to get through this, I don't care. I'll do it. But Jeep perks are coming in like crazy. And Barbara's at first, oh yeah, whatever, no big deal. You getting in the shop this weekend? Yes, Donnie, we're getting in the shop. Be done by Monday, right? No. I could do it over the weekend, but take me all freaking weekend to clean the big bay out. I'm gonna put it in the big bay, which means I got motors to move. Yeah, some of them you'd be interested in, trust me. As long as you like Chevys. I'll tell you what, this Jeep's gonna be a cool little project. They're so simple. Even the complicated parts are simple, but might as well unbox. I got some more parts for saws today. Amongst these little the stickers that goes on your starter covers and stuff. I'll tell you where I get them. Sugar Creek Supply. I'll tell you what we got in this box right here. Maybe I ought to tilt this down so you can see. Okay. This is the suspension or the body components. I've learned, don't go buy them cheap kits when you're doing body bushings. You want the ones that's got everything. Now I'll tell you what we did do. These are nice. These are they're really quite hard. There's a little give. These are from Rough Country. This'll 1 inch body lift, 1 inch. We're running 35s on this, and I know a lot of you wouldn't understand why we'd put 35s on a Jeep for Barb. You don't know Barb that well, do you? She likes her Super Swampers. She really does. We've ran into this so many times. We built her a Montero, Mitsubishi, the early Mitsubishi Montero, 2 of them, 2 or 3 Toyotas, now a Jeep. And the first thing is, oh, them tires aren't too bad. She goes somewhere, comes back, I don't like them tires one dang bit. She says, what's some other tires I like? Super Swampers? Yeah, get some of them. Alright. I don't want real big ones. Well, so I will go first time. I got a set of 31s. Well, they're not the same size I had on my other one. No. Well, I wanted them ones. Well, them are 33s. Yeah, I wanted them. Alright. Pick phone number 8. Friend of mine, you want some 31 swampers, new ones? Give you a deal. Sold them for 3/4 what the new was, got her 33s. Mom was happy. So this one we're putting 35s on. We're going to do some interesting things with this Jeep. You watch what we do. She's short, so she can't have a tall vehicle. That's a good thing I can build things. So what we're doing, we're going to attempt this with just a 1 inch body lift. I want that only for one reason. I want that body 1 inch further off the frame. So instead of being 1 inch off the frame, it's going to be 2. That lets us clean that frame and take care of that frame better. That's the only reason. Another thing we're doing is in the back, she don't want a rear seat. She said just, no. So, right above the gas tank, we're going to put an access door, just like I've done to some of mine in the past. All it is, it ends up being a plug that's rubber mounted, so that if you have a problem with your fuel pump or anything in that area, you don't have to drop that tank. What you do is you grab the handle, you yank that, or you pry it up and get it up out of there. But it's just a rubber gasket. I've done these before. I build a little box and I recess it, and it works great for being able to maintain it. We're going to solve some of the issues. All vehicles have places that mud, dirt, water, etc., salt in our case, ours die of salt exposure. And you might as well park them on a salt pile. It is what it is. So what we're doing is we're going to fix some of these issues, and we'll share them. I'll be out here hopefully all week next week building you guys' saws. I got too many of them apart. Take more apart. Got to get them buttoned up. I think for right now, my 153 project, I better just put it in a box. I've got parts in the machine shop for that. When I get them back, probably another 2 weeks, then we'll go ahead and finish that project. That's a cool one. And then we're going to build a 390, and we're going to build Adam Fox, a Primo 372, Bill Block's 372. We're going to build that and send it to him. There's many. If I didn't say your name, don't think a thing about it. I noticed, I'm not going to call anybody out. I don't believe now. It's just not right. But once in a while, one of you guys that watch a lot will leave a weird comment. You can take it 2 ways. And that's fine. I accept that. That's life. As long as somebody isn't blatantly over the top rude to the people on the channel, I don't go for the negative like that. Boom, you're gone. Generally give somebody a couple chances, 2 or 3, in case they just had a bad day. Once in a blue moon, we get somebody who don't belong here. They're just blocked. I just block them. But one of you guys is saying, well, I just love it how a person that lives and breathes Husqvarna, when he goes out in the woods, he's every time he's carrying an 046 steel. Well, guess what, mister? I didn't mind the comment. I got a little kick out of it in a way, but it left me room to jack on your ass just a little bit, so I'm going to do it. I ran steel for years. Years and years. I have a lot of saws. You already know that. One at a time, I take them out and run them. Just happen to be that one's day. The saws of mine that don't get run much is the steels. So I like to stretch her legs once in a while. The Huskies get run. Now before I did steels, I was running 2100 Huskies. 272s. Loved them. And there's always been a strange mix in my box. I'll drive a 4-door Chevy as long as it's a good truck. I don't even care. It's all about the price point and value added for my dollar. What am I getting for this? Every one of them made some good saws and bad ones. Straight out. Now, we don't build many steels here. We don't. It's not because we're Husky lovers and that's it. We just don't happen to get many once in a while. I have to create a steel build to get one in. I like to do that for you steel guys. I'll tell you one thing. Some of the steels will kick the crap out of some of the Huskies. Yeah, they will. The old original 044, it was built at the steel 44, 044. The one with a 10 millimeter wrist bend, that was built the same time as 272. I'd walked the dog on 272. That short stroke just didn't get enough torque. So we build the torque in the 272s in them transfers and in the piston port, the holes in the side of the piston. You know that. Okay. Um, People try to compare the 66 Magnum steels to the 394s, 395s. No, don't do it. You got to compare it to the 390 Husqvarna. Steel 66 Magnum will walk the dog on a 390 Husqvarna. Stock. Okay, what if... I know, I'm hurting your feelings. I don't mean to do that. I'm just making a statement the way it really is. It's just the way it is. You don't have to agree with me. You don't. It's just my experience. When you can really sharpen, switch, keep the same chain on. Just keep trying different saws. You'll see. All saws aren't perfect, even the ones you like. I like a 390 Husky. I like 372 a lot. 272, 268. Like them. 266 grand saw. They're just good ones. That old 2100 Husky, we're gonna build one. I've been trying to find all the parts. I'm still down. I actually am down to where that I don't have a set of cases that have, or a bottom end that's got that hand oiler that don't leak. I've got two of them here. Both of them, that hand pump leaks fuel into the oil. That's just the way they are. One of you knows a fix about it, tell me so I can do it, because I happen to have two good cylinders and two good pistons. I mean, real nice ones. But I don't have a bottom yet and end yet. I suppose one of these days we'll run across a decent one. The 2100s I get here, they're beyond junk. They're just beyond. I'll show you what they do. I will. I've been threatening that. I'll find one sooner or later. Okay, on these parts here, let's get these off the table so we can get back to what we're really trying to accomplish. I got a story I was wanting to tell you too. I don't know if I'm gonna have time for everything I'm trying to do. If I don't get off on another tangent, let's see. We have got floor pans. Quite honestly, always draw your knife to you, not away from you. No, I got that backwards. I know. I ain't saying I'm the safest guy there is. Yeah. Oh, I got packing papers. I'm going to put them over here, and we're going to save them. Well, I got to say, the company I got them from, they packed them. Look at that. Driver's side rear. Hey, you know, I'll tell you, I was worried because they didn't say the gauge. These are the nice heavy ones. When I put these things in, I won't put that whole thing in. I go in there and I cut my rust out, and I'll grind, sandblast, do whatever, and I'll use, let's say I got a little rust right here. This, in my case, I got just a little pinholes right in this area, and under the roll bar, which is right here, I got a spot here that I know I'm going to fix. I'll probably end up cutting this right here and using that much. Well, what it does is I've got more metal to use for little small patches then. So this is why I buy a big one and use only what I need. And you're going to see that when we get in there. I'm curious about the front ones. Oh, thank God. Okay, these are the ones I like to use. They already got the split right here. Sometimes they just form them, and what happens is the pan don't fit. Yeah, so you have to split them yourself. I'm pretty happy about that. I'm pretty seriously stoked. we're going to deal with that in a few minutes. I'm a good unpacker, but I'll tell you what, I'm not good at repacking. You guys have seen my black 77 Chevy short box step side. When I had a big block in, I took it out. I was going to detune the motor and put it back in. It torqued up big horse. 496 is a lot of horse. This domes. This is a full bag. It's a race motor. It's Super Pro drag motor is what it is. I put it in that 4-wheel drive, and it torqued up so stinking hard on the road, just easing into it, that it pulled the cab mounts right out of the frickin' floor. No, they weren't. It's not a rusty truck. It's a pretty nice truck. But I've had that truck since 1984, so I've had a long time. That was legitimately got over 1 million miles on it. Several rebuilds, quite a few actually. Probably 10 motors, 11 motors. And I still got it, but the motor's out right now. If you want to see that truck, go to horsepower, horse logging, that video. In the front of that, you'll see that truck in the front of the video. But the horse logging video is a nice one too. I should put that in a playlist, but I haven't had any time for that. But anyways, when I was young, with that 77 Chevy short box, it had when I got it, it had a 350 in it, and it had a race cam in it, but just a street, nothing much. It had a quadrojet carb, and I could build a heck out of a quadrojet, so I left that right along. But it had the tall cast iron marine intake on it, which I got one of them here still. Might be the same one I had on that back then. Had headers on it, glass bags, duals. That's just the way I got the truck. It had lift kit and 38 super swampers on it. When I bought it, the guy said, "I'm keeping my tires, but you can have this and that." So we went out and got the super swamper. Was a brand new tire back then. They just come out. It might have been 85 that I put them on. I run 35s for a while, but it looked kind of funny with that much lift kit. So we put super swampers on, but I'll tell you what, I never did. And I didn't grow up this way. We didn't play in the mud. Truck's for working, right? That's what it's for. It's for working. Well, my dad drove track trailer at the time, and I was stationed at Fort Stewart, Georgia, and he'd visit whenever we made a Florida run. He'd stop in. If I didn't have duty of some sort or wasn't in the field or deployed, he'd stop in, hang out for a couple of days, and then go on about his business. Well, one Saturday, there was a mud bog about 10 miles from the house, and I'd never been to one, and I just wanted to go watch. So we jumped in my 4-wheel drive, and we get down there. Well, this one was a long pit. It was about, what was it? Oh, it must had been about 150 foot long. But you drop down, and oh man, it had a lot of water. Down there in that area, it's dry on the surface, but you take a bulldozer and shove a hole. It was probably 8 feet, 7 feet down in that pit. And boy, that got muddy deep fast. So you drop down into it, had to go across, and then up out of it. That's the way a lot of pits are today still. Well, my dad was with me, and they allowed us to kind of back right up, because they knew that trucks weren't jumping out of that pit. So everybody had their sandwiches and their cold beer, their soda pop or whatever, and in their cooler. You're sitting on tailgates, got lawn chairs sitting in the back of the trucks, and you're watching these fools play in the mud. Well, some of them were testing, and they was chewing it up a bit, and that's great. Now, my truck ain't nothing special. I mean, it's a decent truck, but it didn't have all this crazy off-road stuff. Just had a common lift kit and a 4-speed, and pretty much a stock motor, but with a mild cam. What's that, 15 horse maybe? And it had headers, maybe there's 10. It just wasn't much. And and I'd never mud bog. Right next to us, here's this guy from Savannah, Georgia. He works in an off-road shop. They sponsored him with his truck, and he had every stinking part, every bell and whistle on this truck. So now my father's a tower man, and so are I. Well, we had a good friend of mine called Jack Stevens. He was there with us. Well, this guy with this pretty 4-wheel drive that had everything that you could think of at the time that was available on it. It's just special stuff. Now, he had 40s on that. And so he told me what class he's running. He looked at me and said, what class you running in that old thing? Yeah, don't be mean to my truck. I said, I'm not. I'm just here to watch. For an hour. He said, now apparently it's a rule down there. When you enter one of these events, you got to be half drunk before you start. Is that at the time? Well, the guy was getting pretty mouthy to me. Your truck's piece of shit. Mine'll walk all over yours, blah, blah, blah. That's how far this escalated. I don't want to hear it. I said, look. I says, I don't have somebody give me free parts. I depend on this truck. I don't, I need this truck. I don't want to wreck it. Make a long story short, pretty soon Jack Stevens and my dad says, how much that entry fee? I don't know. I don't want to get in that. Well, they had enough. And my dad spoke up to the guy, and he says, what's the entry fee? It's $50. You going to enter? Dad didn't say a word. He went right over and entered me in this guy's class. Yeah. And he comes back, hands me my little tech hat. They come over and put a number in my side glass. And I said, well, okay. And Dad says, he told that guy, he said, I'll bet you a $100 bill. He'll beat you in the pit, he'll beat you through the pit, and he'll beat you out of the pit. He said, well, he already said he'd never done that before. And yeah, he's never done that before. But you don't know who my son is. You don't know how freaking stupid crazy he is. So I get into this deal. He goes out there and he gets in that mud pit just ahead of me. And he goes down through there. And rah, rah, he's got all this crazy stuff. And I'm watching where he's going. And he gets halfway through that mud pit, going, and he stopped. Well, what they do, they throw you a cable. They got a dozer there with a winch on it. They throw you a cable, and you get out of your truck in that mud, and you hitch it, and they pull you the rest of the way through. They drag you through it. So it's my turn next. Now, I'd never been in the mud, but I've drag raced, and I'll tell you what the secret drag racing is, killing a guy right on the line. You get off under that tree fast. Well, they had a line you couldn't go across to get at the pit, right where it started down. They had a line. I said, how far back, guy? He said, I don't care. He said, but don't cross that line. So I backed up about 15 feet, 20 feet maybe. Oh, everybody's laughing, and I knew it. I didn't put that in low range. I had it in high range. And I started right out in second gear. I had 373s with 38s. That's wheeling. And I left airborne going into that water. It went down like a freaking dead frog. Boom! But it dove, and I freaking yanked on my shifting lever for my transfer and got it in low range. And it did it. It was a 205 gear drive. All of a sudden, this truck come to life. The front end come back out of the mud, and it's doing everything perfect. But underneath, there's all these tracks from all these other trucks, and where they get stuck is a hole because they want to sit there for 2 minutes spinning. Well, you feel that. Well, when I was getting close to where he got stuck, where the last 4 trucks stopped. So I went right up over the bank, right up in that dirt, and I wheeled past that, and I got through it. I was the only truck all day that made it all the way through that. You know what the man did? He pulls back in, and he broke his front drive shaft trying to get up out of the other side. Yeah, he's going to put a show on. He broke a drive shaft, which my answer was, when in doubt, stand on it. As I didn't know nothing about mud bogs. So the man walked over, handed my dad the $100 bet, and he left. He left to took his drive shaft out, never said a word. We never even seen him again. Months later, we never seen him. I found all that stuff was fun. Well, when I went to collect my money, which was like $550, and I didn't break nothing the first time, but there's more stories on that. That man there gave me, he says, you know you did everything wrong, right? I said, I don't know how to do this. He says, you did everything wrong. He says, but boy, he says, you had that crowd standing on their feet. My answer was, if you know you can't win, which I really didn't think I could, I said, you got to be a crowd pleaser. He says, look, he says, in 2 weeks we got another one. I want you here. He says, and I want you here. And he says, and our club will pay your entry. And they did. Thank you. Goodbye.